Today we will be applying the theory of the major scale to the piano, which is a very visually representative instrument where the white notes are the natural notes, the ones that don't have sharps or flats, just A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then the black notes are the sharps and the flat. Let's start with the key of C. C is 1. We know it's going to be some kind of D next. We need a whole step from 1 to 2. So C to D is a whole step. You can see C sharp slash D flat is in between, so we're good. Now 2 to 3 needs to be a whole step. D to E is already a whole step because we have this D sharp, E flat in between, so we're good again. 3 to 4 we need a half step. You can see now that the natural half step plays a role here. E to F, that half step is in the exact right place for the key of C, 3 to 4. All right, 4 to 5 we need a whole step. F to G, we have this F sharp slash G flat in between, so that's a whole step, 2 half steps. G is 5, 5 to 6 is another whole step, and G to A is a whole step. We have this G sharp slash A flat in between. We're on 6 now. 6 to 7 needs to be a whole step. We're good. You can see that's 2 half steps, A to A sharp to B, so A to B. Now we're on 7. We need a half step up to 8 or 1. I'm calling it 8 because to differentiate it from the 1, but it's also a C. They're both C's. So 7 to 8, we need a half step, and we have it without making any adjustments because the other natural half step is right where it needs to be, which is between 7 and 8. Let's try the key of G. Here's G. This is our 1. 1 to 2, we need a whole step, and we don't need to change anything because G to A is already a whole step. A to B, which is 2 to 3, we need a whole step, and we're good. It's already a whole step. Okay, 3 to 4, there's a natural half step here. Once again, B to C, which happens to be in the right place. And so 3 to 4, we're still good. We still haven't adjusted anything. C to D, which is 4 to 5, we need a whole step, and we have it because there's C sharp, D flat in between. We're on 5. 5 to 6 is a whole step, and we have it because you can see that the D sharp, E flat is in between. Now 6 to 7 needs to be a whole step. We cannot go to F because that is the other natural half step. This is a half step. We need a whole step. We know it needs to be some kind of F because every letter needs to be represented. So it's an F sharp. This is our first adjustment that we've made. Now 7 to 8, we need a half step and we're fine. F sharp to G is a half step. All right, let's do another key. Let's do F. Now you'll see that there'll be a flat in here instead of a sharp. So 1 to 2, whole step, we're good, which is F to G. 2 to 3, whole step, we're good. 3 to 4, we need a half step. We do not have one, just going straight to B. We know that we're not going to say A sharp because this is an A, and you can't have 2 of the same letter. It needs to be some kind of a B, so it has to be B flat. So choosing, if any of you are wondering, how do I know when to use a sharp and when to use a flat, you don't need to worry about it as long as you remember that every letter needs to be used once. You've already used an A, so this can't be an A sharp. So we've got a B flat, and we're on 4 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 to 5, we need a whole step. We don't need to adjust C. 5 to 6, it's going to be some kind of D. That's already a whole step. 5 to 6, you've got C sharp, D flat in between. 6 to 7 needs to be a whole step, and it is. And then we've got our natural half step here, E to F, 7 back to 1, or 8. All right? So the key of C had no sharps or flats because there was a half step between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8 already. The key of G, we needed to adjust one note, which was the F to F sharp. It had a natural half step between 3 and 4, but it didn't have the natural half step in the right place here, so we had to adjust that. the key of F, we had to adjust a B to B flat. Let's do another key where you've got to adjust more than one note. Let's do the key of E flat. Okay, E flat. First of all, we're already in a flat key. It's the key of E flat. You're not going to use any sharps. So here we are at E flat. We need a whole step from 1 to 2. It's going to be some kind of an F, and F natural is fine. That's a whole step. So 1 to 2, we're good. 2 to 3, we're good. We have a whole step here. 3 to 4, we need a half step. We know it's going to be some kind of an A because we're on a G, but an A natural is not going to do it for us. That's a whole step. We need a half step. So it's going to be an A flat. Once again, you know it's not a G sharp because we just used G. So you can't have G and G sharp. It's got to be G, A flat. All right. We are on 4 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 to 5 is a whole step. So it's up to B flat. 5 to 6 is a whole step. C natural is good. We're skipping the B. 6 to 7 is another whole step. C to D, we're fine. We're skipping C sharp, D flat, and then 7 to 1 or 8 right there. So the key of E flat, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. Okay, I want you to try one. So I'm going to do another key, but I'm going to go slower, waiting for you to hopefully fill in the blank when I give you a pause. You can also just pause the video and then I'll tell you the answer. But I want you to participate. So let's do the key of E. Key of E. Here's E. 1 to 2 is a whole step. What is our next note? Okay, if you said F sharp, you are correct. 1 to 2 needs to be a whole step. It needs to be some kind of an F. It's F sharp. Okay, we're on 2. 2 to 3 is another whole step. What is our next note? Okay, if you said G sharp, you are right. We know it's got to be some kind of a G. G natural isn't going to work. It's a half step. We need a whole step from 2 to 3. Okay? 3 to 4. G sharp. What's the next note? What's 4? Okay, hopefully you said A. There's your half step right there. 4 to 5. What's our next note? Okay, if you said B, you're correct. 5 to 6 has to be a whole step. So what's our next note? Hopefully you said C sharp. That is our 6. 6 to 7 is another whole step. So what's it going to be? If you said D sharp, you are right. Finally, 7 to 8. What is it? This should be an easy one. We're back to our tonic, which is E. I'm saying 8, but E is really the 1. I'm just differentiating it from this E. But they're both E's. They're both the tonic of the scale. This is our 1. Okay, I hope that made sense. If you'd like to test yourself, if you're watching this on Patreon, there should be some PDFs you can download to test yourself. If you're watching it on YouTube, you can just test yourself on a piece of paper. Just pick the scale you'd like to create. Let's say it's the A major scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Write that out and then try to adjust where necessary and see how it comes out. If you're interested in how the major scale looks on the guitar, watch part 3. See you later.